great. Well, congratulations. I love this film so much, and it's really, really impressive. And what I love about the rebels themselves is that they all have different like facets of honour and code, and they've been affected by war differently. And I wonder if I could start with you, Djimon, about Titus, because he's a man who's seen so much bloodshed and war that he drinks to like cope with it, and how is it getting into that side of the character?
Yeah, I mean, when you come to meet General Titus, obviously he's had a past, a very traumatic past with the Imperium before, for which he committed a number of crimes before, and then eventually he had a moment of consciousness in which he tried to redeem, thereby, standing up to the Imperium. At this point, he's a man of who now, at this point, devoted himself to the innocent and the oppressed. So he's a man to be reckoned with at this point.
Absolutely, and it's beautifully done. And Tarak is that he's a prince who's lost everything. His like people.
You figured that out, okay?
on the edge, and like in this abandoned place, and he's trying to re-find himself.
Yeah, it's exactly that. When we find him, he has spent the last 10 years kind of skating the universe in obscurity. And I think similar, in a different way, but similarly trying to fill a void. And he has done that by, trying to survive, and I think almost masochistically putting himself through circumstance he doesn't have to. When we find him in New Wadi, when he's kind of shackled, he's there at his own volition, right? He has the strength and the know-how how to break the chain and leave. But I think the one thing that stays with him is his honor and his nobility, and his right for doing the right thing, even if it's kind of in a backwards way. And so it's a beautiful moment to kind of find him, and I know that the movie you'll see how he got there and why he got there, and it's a wonderful question. Thank you.
Amazing. I hate to go from like a really serious question to like a really but the scene with the griffin-esque creature, the Bennu, there we go.
Griffin-esque. Good job. Thank you, Sarah.
How was it filming that sequence?
I loved it. Listen, I've said it many times, I'll say it again, I'm a big bird nerd. I spend way too many hours. When we were shooting my days off, I'd sit on my balcony and watch the hummingbirds. I think they're fascinating creatures, and for me as well, as a man who spent time, sadly I don't own a dog, but I have fostered a lot of dogs and trained aggressive pit bulls, and trained them to be, domesticated and be safe with kids and animals, and it was very much a kind of a reflection of that experience. How do you take something that doesn't trust you with an immense amount of power and give it the discipline and security to open up? And it was a wonderful kind of reflection of that experience I had, and also a reflection of Tarak himself. The Bennu represents Tarak. He's from his home country. He is just as shackled, just as unable to free himself or herself, of the situation. So in this moment when he steps up to the Bennu, he's stepping up to himself again and beginning the journey back to redemption.
Amazing. One of the things that I love about this film is that it's very imbued in our history.
Yes.
And General Titus is like a Roman kind of like empire-esque character.
Right, that's right.
Did you do much research in the Roman history to build him up?
No, I did not. And because this was a fantasy story, and so I just wanted to keep that, sort of like the reality of that fantasy. But in the end, just the inherent dedication to the innocent and oppressed, that alone, and giving his backstory, obviously what he's done over time with the Imperium, a number of crimes that he has committed over time. I think he's looking for a tremendous to redeem himself.
I also think before we go, I know we're putting time, but to be speaking to your question about how much history is kind of imbued in the story, and I totally agree. You also see that within the aesthetic of all these different worlds, right? New Wadi, not Wadi, Velt kind of feels like this, not Amish, but that's kind of very agricultural kind of like world. And I think what's wonderful about what Zack's done is, whilst we're in a larger than life space epic, it's rooted aesthetically in these kind of historical relevance, which allows the spectator to relate, even though we're in 7 different parts of space.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, you know, the story was such a beautifully written epic story that speaks so much, that speaks volume about our indoctrination today. I mean,
100%.
Of course, you know, some of us, and when you look at the indoctrination of the continent of Africa, you could just, you know, you can definitely relate.
And see the parallels.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for sure.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you,
I really
Sarah.
love this film and I can't wait for part two. I'm really
Thank you.
excited.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys!